All right, so I've used Pipedrive in the past, and I'm just going to quickly review it, tell you what I think is good, and there might be some room for improvement. So these are all just my opinions. So if I had to start with Pipedrive from scratch, I would stick with the bottom plan. You're going to notice a lot of upsell in their tiers and in their functionality, in my opinion. But I would stick with the bottom tier. I think you get a lot of value for that price. Let's talk about the tabs that I would just use the most if I were to start over again. I'd use the Contacts tab, the Activities tab, and the Insights tab. And lastly, the Deals tab. I'm going to tell you what I don't really care for a lot of the changes that have happened in Pipedrive. When you develop a web page, you're going to use a lot of, in the user interface, margins and padding. And I'll show you what I mean. So let's say you're going to an organization, you click on an organization. So already there's a lot of horizontal space that's being used up. While this tab is collapsible, look at the margins and padding on this thing here. Default. Let me show you what this looks like default. In my opinion, it's very unusable. There are so many tabs or sections that you have to scroll through, and then this section gets very, very small and cramped. I don't really care for this type of setup. So if I were to customize this, I would honestly turn everything off except for people and summary. In my opinion, that is just some of the basics that I would be using most often. Because in my opinion, if I were a salesman, I would be looking at what's the name of the company, where's their address, and who are the main contacts that I need to speak to. There are some very cool features. But again, there's so much horizontal space that's being wasted here. Previously, in previous versions of Pipedrive, this was a lot more condensed and cleaner, and there was a lot more space for the main information of the company. So I like to take lots of really good notes on the company as a salesman, and I like to know who I'm speaking to and take good notes. So for example, there might be some notes on the company, on a deal, and so forth. And one of the nice things about Pipedrive is, for example, I could go to a specific deal, and then the various email exchanges and attachments and links and so forth. Links to files. For example, invoices or PDFs or images or links to their products, or just a wide variety of links and files that I can connect to a customer and to a deal and so forth are very, very helpful. The email exchanges on the activity are helpful. So there's a lot of helpful things that you can, over a wide variety of different potential customers and customers that you can go through, and that is useful information, and that's exactly what a CRM should do. And so that is helpful. That is one of this section right here under each company and contact is one of the most beneficial and fruitful combination of features that they offer in Pipedrive, in my opinion. And so there are also some other helpful things like activities, and you get to see what you're doing, and that all contributes to insights. These insights on the dashboard are something that I like to customize, and you could have some very good metrics, not high-level business intelligent metrics that I would prefer. This is not like Metabase or anything like that. This is not full-blown business intelligent metrics, but you get a very basic overview, and you're able to move these different sections around and assemble them the way you want. You could set up some goals and have them tracked month by month. Some gross sales, some daily activity, and then maybe what particular products are selling well. So just some real bare bones business intelligence metrics, which if you dig into these, you can create some different goals and new reports and so forth. And there is some room for customization. There's some room for some business intelligence, but again, not the level of Metabase or anything like that. Some fancy graphs and all that stuff. You're not going to get that. You're going to get some real basic bar charts, some numbers, and so forth. And I'm happy with it for what you're getting for the price. If I were starting out with this, but don't expect Metabase or anything like that. You are able to go in and customize dark mode and do some other things like that if you want. So this is just a sample dummy account here. And then finally, deals. This isn't particularly helpful. There's very few stages that I would consider useful, but it's there if you need it, and it's helpful to go back to a deal and see how the activity played out and so forth. So that is helpful. And then finally, products. You're able to maybe go in and do some of these, and put in some products, and if you wanted to, even upload an image and so forth. One of the misgivings that I have about products is that they must have a price. So if, for example, pricing changes, let's say you've got a very large lineup of products and pricing changes, this just isn't the most intuitive thing in the world, because having to change prices over a wide variety of products is just not something you want to be spending your time with. It's not conducive to time. It's just not enough time to be doing that. The other thing that I also have an issue with is, let's say, for example, you're in a deal. This particular deal, let's say, is $0, and let's say it does have a few different, these are all dummy information, sample accounts, so any connection to a real person in real life is just, completely, coincidental. Anyway, let's say, for example, you've got some products that are added to this particular deal. Well, those products have to have prices, and when you add those prices up together, it would add up this deal to the price of this deal. Again, the problem is if your products change prices often, and you're going to have to constantly go back and forth to change the prices of those products. And when you do that, it will change the price of your deal. And when you do that, it will change the the metrics in your insights. So, it is extremely frustrating. So, what I would recommend if you were doing these deals is to have some products attached to these deals, is to not put any prices at all. That's the only way I'm able to reconcile that strategy. What I ended up doing on the free tier, hypothetically, is to just have labels, and then just have those labels be attached to products, and that would give me an inkling of what I was doing for a sale. That would be my strategy if I would go forward with Pipedrive again. Dashboards, there's a potential for certain things to not show up correctly if you don't have precise dates for deals won over a period of time. Yeah, going to the marketplace, you'll see a lot of different things. Google, there you go. So Google Meet or Google Analytics or some of these different services out there. Some of them are free. You're gonna have to go through them and really take a look at them, and they'll say free. So that is helpful. that there are some free things that you can use with Pipedrive, and a lot of these have to do with different automations and that you can incorporate with Pipedrive. So there is some nice things. However, there are not too many of them, and in my opinion, the ones that I would be interested in anyway are they cost money. Let's just be upfront with that. But anyway, Pipedrive is a pretty good software for the lowest tier. However, you're going to encounter a lot of upsell along the way as you grow in functionality. But for a basic small business, I think this is quite useful. You're just going to have to put up with a lot of the user interface quirks, in my opinion, over time and changes. And you might not appreciate, those changes, but they're going to do them anyway. I just don't think that smaller companies have a very strong voice in the user interface. I would prefer a much cleaner interface where contacts and so forth are not so difficult to access, and that information is a lot cleaner. But they've gone in the direction of collapsible, iframes, I guess, and then just so much different information, and all the margins and padding just really don't jive. It tends to crowd out this area here, which I think is the most useful area of the software itself, where you're actually performing a lot of the tasks, like writing notes, or attaching this or doing that, and it becomes more crowded when this window takes, I would say, 30%. You've got this ribbon here, then you've got this, and then you've got that, and look at how small this ends up becoming. So if Pipedrive would ever put this ribbon up top, I think that would be helpful. That would save a little space here. I also think that in the user interface, if this maybe were some kind of like a breadcrumb underneath this ribbon, they would take more of a horizontal approach, then you would have more room to work with this main window here, this main frame here, iframe, that performs, I would arguably say, a lot of the activity that you're going to be going through in the sales process. But anyway, that's my 2 cents about this Pipedrive. If they send me an affiliate link, I will include it in the description. But otherwise, that's my 2 cents about the software. I think it's a great software. I've had good experience with it, but there are some caveats, and you might want to temper your expectations, and you will encounter upsell. But thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to thumbs up, comment, and subscribe.